Hey everyone, I'm Jack.
And I'm Alex.
And today we'll be ranking the many galaxies of Mario Galaxy 2 from worst to best. Following our boss ranking, we conclude with a comprehensive ranking of one of the most impressive level catalogs of all time. It's hard to square up to one of the greatest games ever as a sequel, and even more challenging to have superior gameplay. Nintendo somehow managed to do the impossible in Mario Galaxy 2 by creating an even broader and more expansive set of galaxies by incorporating a range of new mechanics, power-ups, and characters. Note that for this ranking, we're not going over green stars, as unlike in Mario Galaxy 1, they're just inserts into levels and not their own separately designed stars. Lastly, we now have a Patreon with great rewards at every tier, and an Instagram. Links are in the description below. With that out of the way, let's get into the ranking.
Number 49, Stone Cyclone Galaxy. As I'm sure you've noticed, there are no slides for this video. This is because there are a whopping 49 galaxies to rank, and trust me, they wouldn't really add anything here and they kinda suck to make. Anyways, did any of you guys ever see our Galaxy 1 video from way back when? Beach Bowl Galaxy placed in the middle of the pack. It's alright, but not great. This entire galaxy is just one planet from Beach Bowl, reused and made more frustrating. It's a gauntlet of insta-death bullshit, sure to erode your stock of extra lives like wood into a sawmill. Don't even ask me what they were thinking with this. I don't know what to tell you. Jesus once said that it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter heaven. Well, beating this fucking speed comet is like fitting 100 camels through the eye of a needle, and the chance of whoever designed this star going to heaven, how about fitting 1,000,000 camels through the eye of a needle hit by a shrink ray? Fuck these stupid shit-chugging thwomps and the giant piss tornado in the middle of the galaxy. There is no single redeeming quality. The design is a direct ripoff, the gameplay is atrocious, the music is stock. There is one mission, literally stolen from part of a Galaxy 1 mission. This is one opinion I cannot fathom anyone debating, a rare luxury in our line of work.
Number 48, Honey Bloom Galaxy. If you've watched our ranking of Mario Galaxy's galaxies, you'll know that we aren't exactly warm receptors to anything honey-themed. This trend continues into its sequel with Honey Bloom Galaxy, the Bee Mushroom's reintroduction. While Bee Mario is one of my favorite power-ups across the 3D Mario games, all of the levels designed around it feel as if they're made to counter it, instead of, well, just being fucking built around it. Like, that should be pretty fucking obvious when you're making a... God. First of all, Honey Bloom doesn't even have honey, or anything even remotely connected to bees, aside from, like, flowers and pollen. And I only know that those have a connection to bees because I took Intro to Bio last semester. Anyways, back to Honey Bloom. The Mario Galaxy games are so enjoyable because they take the third dimension and create an entirely different format with it through gravity and planet hopping. However, Bumble Beginnings is a 2D side-scroller with no changes in structure or layout throughout. That's about as mentally engaging as solitary confinement. The majority of the gameplay comes in using star bits to stun Chopas and evading fuzzies on poles. It's surprisingly thrilling. A problem we've brought up in the past is that it's hard to be negative when covering something you enjoy. This is a great example. While technically the second worst galaxy in the game, I still had an alright time in my short 5 or so minutes through Honey Bloom.
Number 47, Honey Hop Galaxy. Almost everything other than Stone Cyclone is pretty cool. That can be considered the lone rotten egg in a game full of otherwise good content, minus a few other exceptions. Honey Hop Galaxy is dull compared to most other galaxies in the game, but there is nothing here evil enough to have you cursing and tearing out chunks of hair. And really, more than any galaxy design issues, I blame Bee Mario. There are so many problems with this power-up concept that prevent it from being actually cool. One of the main draws of this power is the vertical movement aspect, allowing Mario to go higher than he would with normal jumps. Why does it barely change anything? You go like 1 foot higher, and you move agonizingly slowly. Watching Bee Mario try to ascend a platform is like Chinese water torture. Fuck it, in my opinion, Bee Mario should move twice as fast and go 3 times as high. Yeah, I know, sounds dumb, right? But why not? Give me one reason this would not change it into an incredibly fun power-up. Sure, it would probably allow minor sequence breaks, but who cares? Speedrunning is fun, and it's not like you'd be cheating by skipping anything hard. Nobody's gonna watch you skip a platform with a single Octoomba and be like, hey, look at this cheap ass using the Honey Hop Octoomba skip. Back on topic, if this galaxy wasn't designed around the sluggish bore that is Bee Mario, it might be a smidge higher, but hey, it is what it is.
Number 46, Battle Belt Galaxy. Battle Belt is the conclusion to the break-off branch of Galaxies in World 6, and fuck me is it annoying. With just a single star, Mini Planet Mega Run, you'd expect it to be content heavy, and it really isn't. Battle Belt's overall gimmick is that you're running a gauntlet, starting with a lone Goomba all the way up to Chain Chomps and even Fiery Gobblegut if you pay at the toll booth. Like any long-winded gauntlet, you're bound to die at least once or twice, and death frustration is exponentially higher when you die to a Jacko Goomba or Lil Cinder. Battle Belt is enjoyable even regarding its very low placement due to it being only 6 odd minutes long, and it features one of the better bosses in the game as well.
Number 45, Clockwork Ruins Galaxy. Objectively, this galaxy is pretty great. It's got an incredibly unique concept, is fairly substantive as far as single-star galaxies go, and has a decent amount of difficulty to it. Subjectively, I hope this galaxy gets obliterated by a passing meteor. This is 100% thanks to that purple coin star. The lone normal mission is great, but I can't even think of it anymore. The purple coin mission mind broke me beyond repair. Expecting me to cover this one with no bias is like asking a Vietnam War vet who saw his entire company get blown up by a child suicide bomber to integrate normally into society when he returns home. If I were ever to replay this level, I'd probably collapse into a sobbing wreck and have a seizure after 20 seconds. Fuck this level, and by extension this entire galaxy. I have nothing else to say on this matter.
Number 44, Twisty Trials Galaxy. World S is a fairly polarizing one, all in good taste as it aimed to be as mechanically wild and expansive as possible. Like Stone Cyclone, Twisty Trials Galaxy was unfortunately one of the many World S galaxies to fall flat from overcompensation. Spinning and spinning and spinning is a patience test, one that's only 2 minutes long, but that's still 2 minutes I'd rather have spent long jumping instead of carefully planning out my every move. The follow-up star, a double-time prankster comet, has the same overall layout but at 2 times speed and with Yoshi instead of the Cloudflower. It also features the same dreaded music used in the Cosmic Mario races, but isn't insulting as a level or anything. Twisty Trials is a bad mechanic turned into an entire galaxy. It's not horrible, but there's about 43 other galaxies I'd rather play through instead.
Number 43, Boss Blitz Galaxy. Boss fights, we love them. I know, who'd have guessed. Why is this so low? Well, nothing new is here. If I wanted to do this, I'd just replay the boss levels in Galaxy 1. I don't find it unpleasant, but it is extremely blatant filler that furthers my theory of there being a star quota they wanted to hit in development to make a nice round number. Fair enough, but I'm not impressed. Props for porting major boroughs into the second game, you daring renegades.
Number 42, Boulder Bowl Galaxy. Mario Galaxy has the Spring Mushroom and Galaxy 2 has the Rock Mushroom. Rock Mario is a lot better than Spring Mario, but shares the same faults in its dysfunctional motion control and janky directional movement. Rock and Rolladillo has one of my favorite comet medals in the game and only features 2 small islands before capping off with Rolladillo, an alright boss that makes good use of the hard to use power-up. I'd just like to say it now and get it off my chest, I am genuinely fucking shocking as Rock Mario. I remember playing Melty Molten Galaxy at Alex's house and I died like maybe 9 or 10 times in one sitting before just giving the fuck up. Alex is lucky enough to cover that galaxy later on, so I wanted to just say it now when Rock Mario was still in conversation. Oh yeah, Boulder Bowl's great. No negatives to it.
Number 41, Wild Glide Galaxy. People seem split on these bird levels. I liked them as a kid, and honestly I'm still sort of fond of them now. Sure, they sometimes control a bit awkwardly, but there's something different than most of the levels, and that can be a nice change every now and then. The scenery is nice and pleasant to soar through, provided Fluzzard doesn't suddenly get the urge to fly headfirst into a rock structure and shatter his skull into bone dust along with your hopes of a first-place medal. I prefer the frantic mayhem of Fleet Glide myself, doubly so considering my love for mechanical environments, but this is not a shabby offering either.
Number 40, Fleet Glide Galaxy. 1,500 starbits for 1 star. Not exactly a fair payoff to begin with, and Fleet Glide Galaxy is admittedly one I'm not much of a fan of either. Fluzzard's a good mechanic for what he is, but Fleet Glide is just a madhouse, still preferable to barren nothingness like Wild Glide. This is thematically better and more engaging, making it the winner of the 2 Fluzzard Galaxies.
Number 39, Rolling Masterpiece Galaxy. The rolling ball mechanic levels. Some people hate these, but to be honest, nothing in this game holds a torch to how infuriating Rolling Gizmo was from Galaxy 1. Except maybe one of the green stars in Rolling Coaster, but that's getting off topic in 2 ways at once. Rolling Masterpiece is an easy, inoffensive introduction to nobody's favorite mechanic with an endearing art theme that makes it hard to forget even long after playing the game. I'd argue that there is fun to be had here, even if part of that fun is just humorous struggles with the motion controls.
Number 38, Rolling Coaster Galaxy. A 4th World S galaxy, and we're barely 10 spots in. Rolling Coaster Galaxy star is the Rainbow Road Roll. Say that 3 times fast. Unfortunately, the motion controls are about as smooth as a werewolf's ass cheek, so the rolling mechanic is just a fucking nuisance. Rolling Coaster is a bit more relaxed to me than Rolling Masterpiece, however, and I'll take downtime over momentum-oriented ball combat any day of the week.
Number 37, Freezy Flake Galaxy. Freezy Flake Galaxy is alright, but just doesn't really do it for me for whatever reason. I think the cold half of Freeze Flame Galaxy set an impossibly hard standard for ice levels, and this one is just stuck in its shadow. Rather than one really fleshed out planet, this one is a series of relatively uninteresting snow expanses with a smattering of easy enemies. It's home to some not very interesting stars like the Snow Bowser and the most laughably easy fight in the game, who we discussed last week in our boss ranking. The highlight is the ice skating minigame that Chimp hosts, and that's like a tangentially related minigame that could take place in any galaxy through a warp pipe.
Number 36, Spin Dig Galaxy. While Alex and I agreed on the vast majority of these rankings, Spin Dig is one of the few exceptions. Mutual rankings have it at 36, I had it in the mid-20s. Anyway, Spin Dig features a rare non-mushroom or flower power-up, the Spin Drill. Dig-a-Leg's planet is a great star with simple but working level design around the Spin Drill and finishes with one of Galaxy 2's best boss battles, Dig-a-Leg. Silver Stars Deep Down is also a pretty cool star. You go through a giant maze with the Spin Drill collecting 5 silver stars in hidden areas. I do have a bias towards the Spin Drill as I enjoyed quite a bit, hence my resoundingly positive review of this galaxy, but even so, I think most would agree that Spin Dig is still passable.
Number 35, Shiverburn Galaxy.
I think the cold half of Freeze Flame Galaxy set an impossibly hard standard for ice levels, and this one is just stuck in its shadow.
Oh dear, I think I made that comment about ripping off Freeze Flame Galaxy prematurely. Yeah, I recently learned in college that self-plagiarism is in fact a thing, and this is about as open and shut as that gets. I'm not saying that Nintendo should never make a level with this concept again, but please at least make it good. This is like if the Beatles reanimated John Lennon and George Harrison's corpses and made a new band called the Ants, and like their only songs were re-releases of Revolution 9. This galaxy feels like they went out of their way to create the most soulless possible setting. Do you know what Galaxy 2 is missing that Galaxy 1 had in spades? This just occurred to me, it's big central starting planets. That's what makes an iconic galaxy, between its recognizability and the detail of the environment. In Galaxy 2, half the planets are just tiny pebbles or flat expanses with nothing to make it feel like an actual planet. Like, look at this. Riveting, right? I'm outraged now that I think about it. I should make a whole video on this. The main reason Shiverburn got this high is the meta enjoyment I got in high school from watching schizophrenic conspiracy theories about how this galaxy made Shroob's canon in the 3D Mario games. Hell Valley Skytree is an ominous ass name, I can't deny that much.
Number 34, Boo Moon Galaxy. A staple of every Mario title, the Halloween sorts of levels. Boo Moon is unsurprisingly the most ghoulish galaxy in the game and even brings back the fan-favorite Boo Mushroom from Mario Galaxy 1. Silver Star's pop-up is one of the hardest levels in Galaxy 2, with the bridge over dark matter segments but full of boos. Of course, this actually has a hidden bridge that goes on a separate path and finishes with a secret star, but the main star closes with an awesome pop-up haunted mansion. Boo Moon Galaxy has great variety in gameplay among its 2 stars. A fun galaxy overall.
Number 33, Right Side Down Galaxy. The Galaxy games could be said to be built around gravity, but these anti-gravity focused galaxies are the most literal instances out there. Jumping upstairs is inexplicably like twice as fun if you're upside down while doing it, not really sure what that is. It's only got one normal mission star, and the second one is one of those challenges hosted by that bastard Guillermo. I still can't believe the gall that guy has to complain about the speed of Mario's charity work. What an asshole, who does that? It's for the best that he remains stranded where he belongs amongst garbage, just as this galaxy belongs in the middle tier of galaxies.
Number 32, Upside Dizzy Galaxy. Who doesn't love contrasting galaxies like fire and ice, lava and water, volcanoes and tundras, hot and cold? Maybe it's time for a new duo. Well, lucky for me, this is Upside Down and Downside Up. Joke aside, my point is that galaxies with counteracting themes are always a safe bet to be at least good. This is a simple design really. All of a walk on the weird side is split into sections that have opposing gravitational forces. These segments switch on a set timer and the level design is fairly creative, but there are far better examples of this same mechanic in minor blips throughout the Mario Galaxy games. The other star in Upside Dizzy is a dreaded Guillermo star. Fucking hell. These aren't nearly as bad as the trash piles from Galaxy 1, but messing up is still utterly humiliating. Upside Dizzy is a decent galaxy that's mainly helped by the inherently fun mechanic it was designed around.
Number 31, Supermassive Galaxy. This is one of a couple instances where a concept from Mario 64 is expanded on, this being a bit of a riff on Tiny Huge Island. Unlike some of the other cases though, this one is somehow less engaging than its ancestor. While Supermassive Galaxy isn't bad, it's totally functional, it suffers from what I'm going to refer to from here out as floating bullshit syndrome. I'll show some on-screen examples and non-examples, and you should get a good idea of what I mean. Try to guess before I give the answers, let's make this a game. This one. How about this one? This? Okay, last one. You get the idea. Supermassive Galaxy is mostly just rudimentary platforming in its rawest form, so even the interesting concept doesn't get too much mileage besides giving you the fun of ascending huge thwomps with good wall jumping technique.
Number 30, Flipsville Galaxy. If you ever wanted to go flip-flopping in Flipsville, you're in luck. Flip-flopping in Flipsville is a pretty fun star. The main gimmick of Flipsville Galaxy is that there are grates you can ground pound that flip you onto the underside of whatever planet you're on. This makes for pretty neat traversal, and the magic carpet segment on the grate is a great example of maximizing a unique mechanic's utility. The star ends with Glamdozer, a decent boss that's based around the same mechanic, but as you can see, it isn't very applicable in engaging combat. Flipsville's new digs also brings back the spin drill in a really fun and creative way. Definitely one of the more underrated stars in the game. Flipsville is simply one of dozens of galaxies that lacks memorability, but is undoubtedly fun all the while.
Number 29, Flash Black Galaxy. These gimmick levels are always risky. A lot of the time, like with Matter Splatter Galaxy in the first game, the result is an unforgivable monstrosity that should be chained up in a cellar and forgotten. Thankfully, that is not the case here. The blackouts aren't lengthy enough to prove too frustrating and instead are more of a fun memory game than a nuisance like one may fear. It also features Blimp Yoshi, who is hilarious. Automatic bonus points for that. Who doesn't love Fat Blue Yoshi? The stretch at the end is fun. Totally your choice if you want to play it safe or long jump atop the abyss like a madman. I know where I cast my coin and I regret nothing.
Number 28, Yoshi Star Galaxy. Just want to say that Alex has been faithfully playing as Yoshi in Mario Kart and Party for our entire lives, and even has at least 3 different colorway variants of a Yoshi plush toy, so that should tell you his opinion on the chap. I like Yoshi too, but am more of a Waluigi guy. He makes a funny noise when you shake the Wii remote, otherwise zero redeeming qualities to the dude. Anyways, in Mario Galaxy, Yoshi is really fun to play, and Yoshi Star is only in the middle due to its simplicity and generally forgettable theme. It does its job of reintroducing Yoshi, and its levels are fun as per every level in the game. Gigalakitu can be frustrating due to depth perception and the slow speed Yoshi regurgitates Spinies at, but overall Yoshi Star Galaxy is enjoyable, however, ultimately simple.
Number 27, Mario Squared Galaxy. Oh hey, another galaxy stolen from a Galaxy 1 planet. Before you cry hypocrisy, hear me out. While unoriginal as hell, this is honestly such a fun mission that I don't begrudge them their shameless content reuse. I'm a big Flip Switch panel fan, lots of different routes to take and such if you feel like it. I'd also credit it with having a Cosmic Clone Prankster comment, which are definitely the most fun ones in my opinion. The galaxy can perhaps be considered a microcosm of Mario himself. Fun, simple, red, has Mario in the name. This is the sort of insightful commentary you'll only find here, folks.
Number 26, Bowser Jr.'s Fearsome Fleet. This is the finale of World 3, and from a boss fight perspective, it's a fantastic conclusion. From a level design perspective, it's alright. As we do for level rankings, I'm going to avoid going too in depth on Mega Hammer, as I already have a full analysis of him in our Mario Galaxy 2 boss ranking, link in the description. Shameless plug. Like the Bowser Galaxies in the first Mario Galaxy, the main attraction of them is their boss fights. Bowser Jr.'s mighty Mega Hammer is from beginning to end a magic carpet sequence with bullet bills and breakable structures to advance onwards, a formulaic layout with no advancements made throughout. This is a lot more fun than would be otherwise thanks to Yoshi, but ultimately this galaxy is carried by its A1 boss battle.
Number 25, Bowser's Lava Lair. In basically every Mario game, there's some sort of hype when you unlock a boss level. Usually it's more challenging than most, a smidge longer, and just all around a good benchmark of your progress in the game and as a player. Bowser's Lava Lair is quintessential Bowser fare, lots of lava as the name would suggest. All the different segments have a distinct theme, like the snake block pit or the part with all the carpet munchers. Anyways, here's some good thwompage right here, which is always appreciated. Next!
Number 24, Haunty Hall's Galaxy. A classic. Haunty Hall's first star, A Glimmer of Bulbberry, is extremely cool in concept and very nostalgic for me. The entire level works in partial vision, with bridges and pathways moving through a loop where only parts of them are materialized at a time. This was really fun and gets even better with the introduction of the Bulbberry, a Yoshi power-up that grants limited time to see otherwise invisible walkways. To this day, there's some sort of great calmness that takes over when you finally begin to hear the shimmer of the star, and this is no more true than with this level. Sneaking down the creepy corridor is like a more forgettable version of the same idea, with Mattermouths eating the floor and a band of boos, including a big boo, chasing you throughout. Both of these levels are fun, but feel too similar to give Haunty Halls an edge over some of the more elaborately designed galaxies.
Number 23, Bowser Jr.'s Fiery Flotilla. For some reason, Bowser Jr. always gets screwed when it comes to the stages. Bowser gets full-length fitting boss levels, and Bowser Jr. gets a random 1 or 2 planet mishmash. It's like they deliberately balanced it, so Bowser would have the shitty boss fights and Bowser Jr. would have the weirdly empty levels. Yin and yang. Jokes aside, this level is totally fine, there's not really anything wrong with it, it's just short and rather unremarkable. It does have a cool boss fight, that's where they really put all their eggs here, so to speak.
Number 22, Bowser's Gravity Gauntlet. This was always the most challenging level in Galaxy 2 for me when I was younger. The Gravity Gauntlet has a wide variety of mechanics throughout, including 2D, swimming, and of course, basic platforming. Finishing off with Bowser's second showdown serves its purpose to set up the endgame, but still the Gravity Gauntlet is much like the other Bowser Galaxies in both theme and gameplay.
Number 21, Chompworks Galaxy. This is a galaxy that, while pretty good, stood to be so much better if they fully explored the concept. How do you think chain chomps were made? Perhaps formed of smelted iron that gets hardened in a cast like in real life? Maybe through some combination of machinery and magic? How about spawned in by black holes in outer space? That is literally the most boring possible answer. They might as well just be delivered by storks at that point. What the hell is the point of this factory if they don't even make the things? It would have been really neat to have platforming segments navigating the machinery. Think of like that part of Star Wars Episode 2 where Anakin is stuck in a conveyor belt on Geonosis. Instead we get nothing but railings that move them around to holes for no clear reason. But hey, it did give us one of the most devious cosmic clone challenges out there. It wasn't as bad as I remembered it being as a kid, but it was pretty creative how they used it here.
Number 20, Flip Swap Galaxy. The once notorious flip switch mechanic makes a great comeback in Galaxy 2. When I had my Wii years ago, my motion controls were super janky, and sometimes when I would go to pick up star bits, Mario would star spin and I'd die without even getting the star bits I was aiming at. If you have a working console, however, Flip Swap is great fun, especially the Chain Chomp segment. From beginning to end, it's an interactive level that makes you think at least a little, but is still calm enough to be a relaxing time.
Number 19, Puzzle Plank Galaxy. Honestly, most of my memories of this galaxy are raging at that coin room while I try to gather 30 for that ridiculous charlatan of a hungry Luma. That guy is running a real shakedown. If you miss a single coin, then it's over. Go kill yourself and try again. That frustrating if iconic struggle aside, this is a very fun level full of saw blades, ground pounding, wall jumping, long jumping, a bit of everything. Very movement focused and dynamic, never a dull moment here. I have a memory of embarrassingly screwing up getting the Comet Medal repeatedly that still makes me laugh looking back at it, which is, very easy to do since I was recording when it happened. They even brought back that pathetic bug mini-boss who I think I put down in under 10 seconds. Fail.
Number 18, Hightail Falls Galaxy. A single-star galaxy this high up should tell you all you need to know. There is the Silver Star planet, but you get what I mean. Yoshi is already fun, but Yoshi with 20,000 RPM through the Dash Pepper is another beast entirely. Hightail Falls is a giant racetrack, essentially. It's challenging to get through, or was for me at least, and is one of the most exciting galaxies in the game, only here due to it having just the one star of importance.
Number 27, Sweet Mystery Galaxy. Another Yoshi galaxy, this time revolving around the criminally underused yellow fruit. Like Flash Black Galaxy, it's an amazing example of a gimmick galaxy done right. It has a certain mysterious vibe to it that works very well with the limited visibility of the environment. Some of the effects, like seeing through candy bar wrappers, are real charming. Nothing but fun to be had here, just don't tell Kirby about this place.
Number 16, Sky Station Galaxy. The first level, so long as it's not horrible, will always be nostalgic. In truth, Sky Station isn't incredibly dynamic or anything even close, but due to it being the first level and the solid variation in design it has throughout, it deserves this high spot in our opinion. I actually prefer storming the Sky Fleet over Pee-wee Piranha's temper tantrum. Once again, check out our boss ranking if you'd like to know our thoughts on the giant infant. Sky Station is plain fun, one of many galaxies like it in this section of the ranking.
Number 15, Melty Monster Galaxy. I love lava. Lava is awesome. Our Galaxy 1 video probably made that abundantly clear with our number 1 placement. While Melty Monster Galaxy pales to the heights of its Galaxy 1 equivalent, that doesn't mean it's a slouch either. I dig those giant lava mouth guys. They're called something weird and automatopoetic like moargs. I think it's funnier if I don't look it up. This galaxy has some planets of substantial size and memorability, which goes a long ways. Even the kind of bizarre second mission with seemingly nothing to do with its theme is at least super fun. It can be a tricky pain in the ass, but Rock Mario is so fast-paced and frantic to use that it never became a chore. Plus, there are droves of star bits and checkpoints. They're common, so it's unlikely that you'll find yourself sent packing to square one. While not as iconic as some superior galaxies and a tad unfocused in its level design, it's undeniably fun and stands alone as its own thing better than a lot of stuff below here.
Number 14, Beat Block Galaxy. At this point in World 3, I'm always just barely skeeting above starbit poverty, and then go broke with this greedy fucking hungry Luma asking for 1,000. Jesus Christ, dude, are you buying a yacht? Luckily, your reward is Beat Block Galaxy, one of the more unique galaxies in the game. The level works on a timer, where the music dictates when either the green or yellow blocks appear, respectively. It's a simple idea that's great fun in gameplay, and is one of the better galaxies in the game, but that does not excuse its shambolic price tag. Starbit inflation must be at an all-time high.
Number 13, Cloudy Court Galaxy. Cloud Mario is great. He and Rock Mario were two ingenious additions to the game that blow garbage like Spring Mario out of the water. While less impressive than its precursor, Fluffy Bluff Galaxy, for reasons I shouldn't have to explain at this point, it's impossible to argue that flying around making platforms wherever you damn well please isn't a great time. It's very liberating, and I think it's a definite trend where more open-ended level design is more enjoyable. As fun as the anti-gravity levels are, for example, at the end of the day there is basically one way to go through them with no room for screwing around. The soundtrack is also great here. This and Cosmic Cove definitely have the best themes in the game the way I see it. Levels like these where you're given a little leeway to do stuff your way are always nice, and thus I rest my case for Cloudy Court being a high-level contender.
Number 12, Flip Out Galaxy. Like Flip Swap, but harder. The only really difficult section of Flip Out Galaxy is the ending wall jump stretch, otherwise it's a basic evolution of Flip Swap. The Cosmic Run is a pain in the ass, but not nearly as bad as they are in Mario Galaxy 1. When you improve an already fun galaxy, there's not much that can go wrong, hence Flip Out being number 12.
Number 11, Starshine Galaxy. This is a galaxy that feels almost tailor-made to my taste, considering it features Chili Pepper Yoshi, Cloud Mario, and is largely based in one central planet. This may be a bit of an understatement. It literally is one planet, except for a tiny little dinky one at the start. The classification of galaxy might be a bit much, but nobody would buy a game called Super Mario Planet now, would they? Just doesn't sound as good. Anyways, as far as water levels go, this is one of my favorites in gaming in general. Even the underwater bits are cool. There's a good deal of stuff down there if you poke around. The Galaxy games nailed water controls, I think more so than any other game I've played that features water gameplay. Starshine Galaxy is just a chill place. I'd hang out there if it was real.
Number 10, Bowser's Galaxy Generator. As the finale, the Galaxy Generator is made of every single power-up and game mechanic and is the longest single level bar Grandmaster, thanks in majority to the final Bowser fight. I always tend to lose Yoshi at some point, and while he makes it easier, the Galaxy Generator is quite doable as just Mario. If you've seen our boss ranking, or haven't, and you probably should, you'll know we don't think incredibly highly of the Bowser fights, and in this case the level preceding him was by far the highlight of his galaxy as a whole.
Number 9, Slip Sand Galaxy. This is a flawed galaxy, more than quite a few in fact, but I find myself strangely fond of it regardless. The quicksand is stupidly designed, because half the time you can't even avoid it and just have to awkwardly jump around while being harassed by the chicken fuckers. This is made up for by the slide segment, which I love, and that cool mission on the Sandbird platform. That one is one of the most hectic and memorable stars in the game. It's hard for me not to give lots of credit for that one. This is a hard galaxy all around. I got sent plummeting to my doom by that final stretch of the slide more times than I care to count. I respect that. A little challenge never hurt anybody in a game like this.
Number 8, Fluffy Bluff Galaxy. World 1 is in my opinion one of the strongest in either of the Mario Galaxy games, Fluffy Bluff Galaxy being one of its best individual galaxies. The Cloud Flower remains one of my all-time favorite power-ups in Mario, not just because it's fun, but because of the many different ways you can use it. Its broad variety and utility is highlighted no better than in Search for the Captain Toad Brigade as well as the Secret Star that both make great use of it, highlighting the power-up and showing it off as the premier new feature of Galaxy 2. As one of the most memorable galaxies in this series, Fluffy Bluff is well deserving of being in Mario Galaxy 2's top 10.
Number 7, Grandmaster Galaxy. I said I like a challenge, right? This galaxy is merciless. A bit tricky to beat normally, is it? Okay, now do it flawlessly, you poor sap. This one took me ages to do for footage, and I went through hell for that final star. Ending it off with that Hammer Bro fight is evil, considering that is by far the least consistent feeling part of the entire thing. As much as I gripe, I really love when games have final challenges like this that require mastery of every mechanic. Yoshi, flip switches, the drill, it's all here. I can't exactly call it fun, hence the 7th place rank, but I can't deny that beating this insane gauntlet is one of the most satisfying things I've ever done in a platformer.
Number 6, Cosmic Cove Galaxy. The Zora's Domain of the Mario Saga. Cosmic Cove is to me a safe haven. I have many fond memories of spending time with my friends in the past summer, and in those hours spent at bonfires, looking up at the stars and just laughing and having a good time, at some point the pirated Cosmic Cove theme on Spotify would come up in the shuffle. In a game as ecstatic and fast-paced as Galaxy 2, Cosmic Cove is a break, even a relaxing vacation if you will. To this day, the Galaxy games are the only video games ever to have a legitimately fun swimming mechanic, nonetheless one that even works in 3D, and Cosmic Cove highlights it. Cosmic Cove is just relaxing, the Rabbit Star isn't like others and is quite easy to do in 15 to 20 seconds, and Twin Falls Hideaway was great in its use of ice on a timer to evolve the planet into both a water-based and ice-based world in one. Exploring the Cosmic Cavern is my favorite of Cosmic Cove's 3 stars, however, due to its variety in gameplay and unique approach to 2D platforming. Cosmic Cove is rightfully praised among the community at large as one of the greatest single levels in the history of Mario, and for me is the most euphoric in the entire series, only number 6 from its lack of exciting gameplay and reliance on atmosphere and setting instead.
Number 5, Throwback Galaxy. Okay, yeah, this is a ripoff of Whomp's Fortress, but you know what? I totally love Whomp's Fortress. That's one of the best levels in Mario 64. Plus, it's a different ballgame than when they ripped off stuff from Galaxy 1, since that was already playable in the Galaxy engine. Mario 64 doesn't quite control like Galaxy, so it's a much more unique experience than stuff like Stone Cyclone or Boss Blitz. The fight with King Whomp always made me feel bad for him. It sounds like his life is a thankless hell and Mario just wordlessly murders him. Seems Mario is no friend of the proletariat. Peach must have rubbed off on him. Anyways, as it was in 64, this level is an open-ended playground with like 50 different ways to ascend it if you're creative.
Number 4, Bowser Jr.'s Boom Bunker. The best Bowser Galaxy in the game goes to the one with the best boss fight, in our opinion. The Boomsday Machine is, next to Mega Hammer, the most well-known boss in the game, minus Bowser obviously, and the galaxy preceding it is equally thrilling. From the very onset, the Boom Bunker is challenging, similar to a gauntlet in structure, with Bullet Bill baiting to break glass windows, Boomerang Bros, and finishing with the infamous Carnival Black Hole segment. And it goes without saying that the Boomsday Machine is a great fight, using Cloud Mario as its main mechanic and evolutions in its design as each phase goes on were both incredibly good design choices. The Boom Bunker is only here due to the Boomsday Machine, however the atmosphere and design of said boss battle is the best in the game and alone puts the Galaxy in the top 5.
Number 3, Space Storm Galaxy. What do you get if you miss Space Junk Galaxy, Dreadnought Galaxy, and Buoy Base Galaxy? Success, considering those are all top 10 rankers from the first game. The visual style of this place is great. It's got a similar feeling of breaking into a secure place that the Dreadnought had and some suitably difficult segments to go along with it. I mean, I wouldn't outright call it hard, but bringing the mini Top Man to the gearhead isn't piss in the wind, I'll say that. I have a fondness for those electro walls as well, at least visually. They're a lot less awful when you aren't in a bubble, I'll say that. The time stop mechanic in the Buoy Base Redux level is also a cool gimmick, not sure why they didn't use it more often in other levels. Space Storm Galaxy is innovative and yet comfortingly familiar, a nice welcome to the glory of World 5.
Number 2, Slimy Spring Galaxy. Of every galaxy in these 2 videos we've made, Slimy Spring was one I was sure Alex and I would disagree on. No way in hell we both would think a one-trick, single-star galaxy is one of the best in this series? Well, here we are. The Deep Shell Well is the best example of swimming in a video game I have ever played through, personally. While not innovative, it's best described as a trench run underwater. Fun in its rawest form, Slimy Spring is simple but satisfying, uninventive but genius, and one of the best galaxies in this series, just a thrill from beginning to end.
And finally, at number 1, we have Tall Trunk Galaxy. Literally everything about this galaxy is done to perfection. Cool theme? Hell yeah, it's got droves and droves of all the tree content you could ask for. Gameplay, fun normal platforming, a little Yoshi here and there, and of course, the slide! Yeah! The slide kicks so much fucking ass. I fucking love the slide. Most fun thing in the entire game, and it's not even close. The fact that this isn't a recurring level gimmick save for that one bit of Slip Sand Galaxy is a tragedy. Make a whole game of levels like this. Super Mario Slide. You heard it here first, folks. The potential is not to be ignored. My only regret is that Mario isn't faster, but it's not like he's terribly slow anyways. There is basically nothing wrong with this galaxy, and if you think there is, I hate you.
Thank you so much for watching, and we hope you enjoyed, unless you don't like Tall Trunk Galaxy, in which case I hope you get kicked in the fucking nuts! Eventually we'll cover the bosses of Mario Odyssey, but for now, this concludes our Mario rankings as we know it. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't, and otherwise be sure to check in every Wednesday for new uploads. That's all for now. Deuces.